So the other day, a really smart peer of mine said, "Hey, Lynn, yeah, you work with expert brands, but I'm guessing a lot of the people that you could help don't know they're running an expert brand." And yes, that's true. It's so true. I say that I work with expert brands. And what I mean by that is that you are offering services, and you're offering services in a way where you need to charge a bit more money than like the faceless generic commodity design pickles of the world where, you can get all your graphics for $300, right? And again, you're not running a faceless brand. You're running a services-based brand where if you had a book, if you had lots of proof, if you had lots of case studies, if you had a standardized offer, if you had robust marketing channels, if you had advertising, if you had all of these things, you would sell better. If that is true of you, if having more authority factors than commodity factors would help you sell better, help you price more, help you get an easier yes, then you, by definition, are running an expert brand. Now, here's the thing. Where you are right now may not be that you are doing an expert brand correctly. So you might actually be what I call the commodity services provider. This is where people start when they are a freelancer or when they don't know what they're doing, right? So they haven't done the inner work to feel good about a narrower scope. And this is hard. I'm even doing this when I'm like, I could do that. No, 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 no. Narrow, 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 narrow. It's okay to be, the heart surgeon of marketing, right? And that's what I do. Very, very narrow. But when people start out, you are basically, you have all of the things, you don't know what you're doing, and you will do anything. You have generalist positioning, you don't niche down to anybody, or you're like, well, I do like 5 industries and I can do all these things, and your prices are wobbly. You don't have standardized offerings where it's like, okay, we have a intake call and then a specific sales call, and then we go into a certain engagement and all of this stuff is documented. You don't have that. You don't have consistent proof because you're not doing consistent work. So one testimonial is like from a big brand because they hired you, and then another one is from a solopreneur, another one's in this industry and that industry, and here you did HubSpot and here you did content. I'm talking about myself, right? That's commodity positioning. And if you know my concept of what I call the price commoditization scale, the more commodity factors you have, the lower price you can charge. The fewer commodity factors you have, the more authority factors you have, the higher you can charge. So it's kind of an inverse relationship. It's not really a scale because then it gets weird. It's like, is it heavier or is it lighter? Yeah, no, inverse relationship here. More commodity factors, lower price. Fewer commodity factors, higher price. Or to put it otherwise, the more authority factors you have, generally the higher you can charge, if you know what authority factors are. Again, so when people start out, they're starting out as a commodity services provider. This is generalist positioning. You're offering not having a great time. You're working long hours. You're billing by the hour often. No consistency in your engagements, etc. Right? You're still running an expert brand. You're just barely on the pathway. And many of you will end up going back to employment. Okay, that's type 1. But let's say you want to get serious. You're like, you know what? I think I can niche down. I think I can do it. I think I can do this thing of running an expert brand, a consultancy, a business. All right. The next stage on the expert brand journey is being the solo consultancy. And the solo consultancy is that solopreneur. It is, maybe you have a team of freelancers. Maybe you have 1 or 2 people. Right? That's still really solo, but you've niched down, you know where your value lies. You're starting to accumulate authority factors. You're starting to, do what you should, price higher, get more proof, advertise, do consistent marketing. You're getting more, what I call the foundational marketing assets, your website and a book. And again, all of the authority factors. That's stage 1 on the expert brand journey. Okay. The next stage is what I call the expert business. Now, the expert business is a big, wide middle, right? So it's a big, wide middle where you're not yet international, but you're national. And when you're just starting out, you're just growing your team, where you're like, we're going to advertise on a couple channels. We've got consistent marketing. We've got a marketing function, and a sales function, operations function, and finance function, and account management, and all this stuff. You're starting to treat that service brand like a business. It's becoming a business. That's really exciting. There's lots to do. It's really exciting. If you keep growing along this journey, you keep reinvesting, you keep sticking with it, you can eventually, if you want to, become an expert enterprise. You think the Tony Robbins of the world, right? Multinational, big team, thousands of employees, products ranging all the way from free to probably six figures, doing really big stuff. McKinsey's of the world, expert enterprise, doing consulting as an expert biz. So where are you now? And where do you want to be? Because you're doing certain things now that ensure that you're going to stay in this stage, and you'll either stagnate or you'll grow. Like the camera follows me. You're going to stagnate or you're going to grow. And if you want to grow to the next stage, which most people do, and you want to mature to the next stage of sophistication as an expert brand, there's things you got to do. Essentially, you got to do what brands at the next stage do, or start doing that. Start maturing those functions in order to get there. You can't keep doing what you're doing and going, I want to get there. It's like getting fit, right? You can't eat the way you eat, not go to the gym, not envision, Arnold Schwarzenegger envision where you want to be and actually get there. You're going to be exactly where you are, or maybe even worse. This is because my husband and I are starting at the gym. It's great, right? I get this. I'm feeling this of something has to change if I want something to change. And the same is true in your expert brand. Something has to change if you want something to change. So that's all I got for today. Think about where you are. Think about where you want to be. What's keeping you stuck? Right? In what areas are you really mature? Right? Maybe you are solid on the financials. You've got a P&L, even though it's just you, right? And your taxes are solid, your savings are solid, you know all your numbers. Okay, you're really mature in that area. But maybe your primary offer is filling out a contact form and book a call. And maybe you are still not really willing to niche down and really say, this is the outcome that I own. This is the outcome that I drive. That's really what niching down is. You're niching down on an outcome for a specific kind of person. And sometimes that is industry specific, and it works really, really well to be industry specific. So I don't want to poo-poo that, because it is, you can have a good living being the person who solves a specific problem and gets a specific outcome for a certain industry. Really, that is a great way to position and get started. And but you can think about it as outcomes too. What outcome do you drive? I know what outcome I drive. I want marketing to make money. I want marketing to lead to faster, easier, more profitable sales. If I'm not doing that, if with my clients I am not having that conversation regularly, if I don't keep my eye on that target, I'll get off track. I will start to maybe I can fix the documentation. Maybe I can do this. And all of a sudden now I'm building a HubSpot and a WordPress and all this stuff that I love doing, but isn't my core niche of I give you messaging that we can put into marketing that will make sales, getting sales, making money faster, easier, more profitable. Numbers go up. I want you to think about that for you, right? Can you do that? So email me, email my team, questions@lynswayze.com, and let's get you moving forward. Anyway, subscribe, follow, get on my daily email list, lynswayze.com/daily. I send 100 to 300 word snippet every day of something to think about, something to work on, a question I was asked, something I'm working on with clients. Again, these aren't meant to be treaties. Not that I can't write them, but holy crap, who has time, right? I'm guessing you're busy running your expert brand. So, if you're okay with quick stuff, that's where to go. lynswayze.com/daily. I'm also building a membership. So maybe by the time you see it, it'll be live. lynswayze.com/membership. And yeah, I want to see you there. I want to, let's do the thing. Let's get you easier, faster, more profitable sales by honing your messaging and your pitch. Till next time.